We talked about child labor and... Really? Something that... Okay, this is something that I wanted to say. I don't know whether it was like popular for the general public, but it was a very big thing here in Indo, especially for the fashion industry. Because a lot of like Indonesian fashion clothes, sometimes they do hire underage people to work, right? You can label it as child labor, but they were underage. Like I'm talking about 14, 15, 16-year-olds to like sew up your clothes. It was a big thing here. And I remember like following up on it. And I know you're like, oh my god, that's so fucked up. However, companies actually, because of all the backlash, they decided to not want to work with companies like that, right? Because it became like, it brought to light like, do you know that 80% of like the factories hire people that are underage or something like that? The companies here, because of the backlash, the companies don't want to be associated by them. So they said like they don't want to work with them, right? I'm talking about like mass firing and everything. And guess who actually defended the movement? Like they want, like there's a group of people that say like, no, we want these like people that are literally 14 to 16 to work. The people that said that are 14 to 16-year-olds that are working.
Cooper Black donated $5 through Super Chat.
Think about
Free
it.
super?
Yeah, because chat, think about it. They usually hire kids or like these teenagers, right, to work because they are impoverished. And that is how these teenagers can actually support their family, get food, go to school. And if they get fired, how the hell are they supposed to make their money? So these people actually fought against it. They're like, we want to work. Fuck you. So because of that, it increased more ethical shit. And it's like, do these companies are like, I don't want to work with the factories that hire people below the age of something, right? Are they going to pay for these workers that have been laid off? No, they're not, because that's too much money. So what the fuck are they supposed to do? What are these 16-year-olds supposed to do? Are they supposed to not bring food to the table the next day? That was a debate. The teenagers fought against it, while the companies supported the movement. So can you really say that that movement or that decision was ethical? That became a whole debate inside like the community, because people are like, wait a minute, actually you have a point, which then causes you more concerns. Like what are they supposed to do? Are the factories supposed to pay these kids until they're of certain age and hire them back? They can't, because the factories don't make that much profit either. So the only fair thing is just to hire them back and turn a blind eye. What do the parents think of it? Chat, most of the time when kids are forced to work at such a young age, I don't think the parents really care. Like some parents are like, it's either they're not in the picture, they're deadbeats, they're the reason of they're impoverished, or they're just not making enough. That's why these labor protection laws, a lot of the teens that work fought it back. The teens that don't work agreed on it. Raises another concern. Like, should we really listen to this then? Because the people that are saying this is bad and shit are people that live in a house with food always prepared. When they buy something, they don't have to check for the price. They don't care. The people that say this is bad, like the kids should not be working here, blah, 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 blah. They come from a good life. And the kids that don't are saying that we should have it because I need money to feed my brothers. I need money to feed my siblings. I need money to go to school. Sometimes, right, this whole thing raised the whole debate within at least my friend group. We talked about it. We kind of labeled it as like, are you really woke? Do you really think you're doing the best thing? Like, I know right now people are like, I'm doing the best for you, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm making the right... Like, right now you think it's a good thing for you to work as a kid, but later in the future you'll thank me. Well, maybe if you stop them from getting income, do they really have a future? So, who should we really listen to? Do we really know if we know the best for these kids? So unless you are ready to financially give them stability, can you really say you have an opinion? So that's why it's so hard. These decisions are very complicated. And this is just one of the cases amongst a lot of cases. These children should be entitled to the same employment rights as adults, right? That's what after I tell you their side of the story, you think that way. But if I didn't tell you the side of the story, you would think like, no, they're right. These kids should have an actual childhood, learn and not worry about money or anything. But they already do. You only think this way because I brought another perspective into the conversation. This is just in one of the perspectives. This applies to everything, right? Like, there was even a debate recently about whether like sustainable fashion or like eco-friendly fashion the production of it, is it even better compared to regular fashion? Because they do release more pollution in the waters because they need chemicals to soften these fabrics up. More chemicals. So is it really better? So there's no win-win. We all lose. If kids are working, the goal shouldn't be to stop them from working. It's to make sure that they don't have to work. It depends, really. The fastest solution is to rehire said kids, right? It's basically about like what is truly ethical. If you think you are very woke, are you really? Have you listened to every single perspective of every one side? And if you haven't, and you're not ready to like help every side, then can you really take a side? Ta-da! So that's why a lot of... I can't fault them. I can't say that these brands are bad or this company is bad. This company is abusing or taking advantage of a cause. Because sometimes the cause is not... It's hard. Like, everything has a downside. Can you really say this company is bad for not following the cause? No. Because maybe the cause just is even worse in their eyes. Ta-da! So I can't blame them. That's why I said I can't hate anyone. There's no way I can hate a single person, a company, a brand, anything. I can't hate anything because I understand where they're coming from. Like, I understand why they do the things they do. I understand how they did it. So I hope you find a solution and I hope you become better. There's no way I'll hate you though. If I just don't think what you're doing is right, I will just not associate myself with you. Aside from that, is it really my position to say that you're an evil person? No, Mika, exploitation is exploitation. As someone where... Okay, I agree with you on a lot of topics there. But as someone... When I was younger, when I was like, what, 14, 15, 16, I also worked. Like, yeah, they hired me. Is that illegal? Yes, it is illegal. But I did work because I needed that money. What happens if they didn't hire me? I wouldn't be able to buy the things I want. I wouldn't be able to buy lunch. Am I just supposed to starve for the majority of the day? So, I mean, if I was that, I would also fight against it. I know that's bad, but it's basically morality and whatever the fuck you want to believe in. You have your own opinions and you have your own belief and you are completely valid for what you believe in and what you see in. I am not here to change your opinion. I am only here to bring another side to the conversation. If your opinions don't change, that is completely fine. Because I agree, I have no opinion, which is worse in my opinion. Like, because I can't pick, even until now, it's like, I still think about that debate, and I'm like, I don't know who to side to. So I just can't side, which is worse. Hey, I think you're better because you did pick a side. Because that means you weighed everything, and you yourself feel like one side is more better than the other, which is great. Get rid of the exploitation part and not the child labor entirely. That is true. Actually, that does make sense. But sometimes can they afford it? Oh, there's so many factors. Let's just... I don't know. I'm not here to change your opinion. I'm here to just increase the conversation. In order to not starve or help their families get by. Man, I feel like if anyone could just solve this whole problem with this... with just instantly, it probably would have been solved by now. But it's not, for a reason. And I can't talk about that reason because it's low-key political. Yeah, there are no black or white morals. It's just different shades of gray. Companies make their products there. The problem is that it is allowed. It wasn't... There would be no problem. As a child, I would love to work for someone even if I'm underpaid to get better food than rice with soy sauce for my family. Too bad I'm not that lucky. That's what I'm saying, right? Like... Ooh.